Welcome to our Ukulele Pros lesson. I'm Terry Carter. And today we're going to talk about a Hawaiian style sounding intro. And this is something I picked up from a buddy, well, he's a buddy now. It was somebody I just actually met at the beach one morning when I was getting ready to do the live beach jam. And he had a songbook and it just had these chords in it. And the way we played them, to me, sounded Hawaiian. So that's why we're calling this a Hawaiian intro or song intro. And a lot that has to do with the way you strum it and the chords. And the chords are simple, but it really gives it that. To me, that island feel. Okay? Nice thing about it's only 4 chords. This is in the key of F, so we're driving towards the F chord. So that means that this could be used in any song that you're playing if you want a Hawaiian feel, if it's in the key of F. And you usually know that because the first chord of the song is usually F, or the last chord of the song is F, because all of the chords generally tend to lead to the F sound. So, shall we just jump right into it? I say we do. First chord is just our G7. So G7 chord. Open 4th. Second finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. First finger, 2nd string, 1st fret. And my 3rd finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret. So G7. Don't know if that's a new one for you. We know that the G's are a real popular one on ukulele, but this one's our G7. And the rhythm for this is just going to get 2 beats or a down, down, up. And that's going to be for every chord. So down, down, up. Notice for this one I'm using my 1st finger and I'm strumming right around where the body of the ukulele and the neck meet. Now this is just typically where I strum it. You know, if you look and see different ukulele players, you see some strumming back here. Kind of more like what a guitar player does. That's fine. Some use a pick. That's fine too. Some like to use their thumb. All fine for this lesson, just if you wanted to get the sound that I'm using. And we're going to use our 1st finger. So G7, down, down, up. Second chord, which comes in on beat 3, is the C7 chord. Maybe this is new for you all, so it's a fairly easy chord. Open 4th, open 3rd, open 2nd, and then my 1st finger on the 1st string, 1st fret. Okay, so C7, that gets 2 beats, so down, down, up. So the same thing that we played for the G7, we also play for the C7. So let's try that. Let me take these off the screen. We don't need these for now. So G7 to C7. 2, 3, 4. So G7 and C7. Now if that rhythm's too hard, you could simplify it and just play 1, 2, 3, 4. Half notes until you build up your speed for those 2 chords. Just to make sure that each one gets 2 beats no matter what you're using. So half notes would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you did quarter notes there, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if you did the rhythm that I'm playing, you'd go quarter note, down, and 8th notes, down, up, C7, quarter note, 8th notes. Alright, you're ready now for chord number 3. And this is our tonic chord, which is an F. So we got 2nd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Open 3rd string, 1st finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and then open 1st string. So F. That's also going to get 2 beats, so down, down, up. Now what I've done is I've actually thrown a little twist in. So that's what I learned from my buddy. Now what I've decided to do is throw one more chord in that helps kind of make it a little bit of a turnaround, and that's the D7 chord. So that's this chord right here. Now if you're coming from the F, you don't have to move your second finger. You just got to keep it there. 4th string, 2nd fret. And then what I'm going to do here is also open 3rd string. And now I'm going to add my 3rd finger to the 2nd string, 2nd fret, and then open 1st string. So that's all we got to do for the D7. Now here's a chord, and that's also going to get 2 beats. So down, down, up. All right, so now what we have here is G7, C7, F, and D7. So let's do the F to the D7. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. All right, so just those 2 chords, 3, 4. So F, and again, that's a fairly easy transition because of the very simple shift. Let me just check my tune. All right, so now let's add it all together. I'm going to throw it on the screen for us. So let me throw up the progression here. I'm just going to put it right below me real quick like. All right, so there we go. So this is what we're looking at. G7, C7, F, and D7. Notice that's right there is where we just stopped. All right, that's the first half of it. Then there's a second half, which is identical except we cut the last part off a little bit. So let's play now. Just those first 2 measures. So boom and boom right there. Okay, so we don't need that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So G7, C7, F, D7. All right, so that's that first half of it. Now the second half just goes like this: G7, C7, and then F, and just hold it. 2, 3, 4. So that's it. So you don't go to the D7 on that second time. All right, so let me throw that up one more time so you can see that whole thing. Okay, so now notice the second half starting here. Whoop, there, G7, C7, and F. So it's just G7, C7, and F. And the F you just hold out, and that'd be a nice thing that you can do, like if it was at a vocal pickup or something like that. Okay, so let's throw it all together now. Both part 1 and part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, 2. Now let's repeat the whole thing. So G7, C7, F, 2, 3, 4. All right, so now there's one last thing that I'm doing that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to get the authentic sound that I'm doing. All right, so what I'm adding there is some staccato notes to make it sound a little bit shorter sounding. So on the G7, C7, F, D7, then G7, C7, 2, 3, 4. Now what does staccato mean? Well, it means short, but how do you achieve that is, notice how that chord now, it's not ringing out, you're stopping the sound. So how do you stop the sound? Well, with all these chords, because they all have at least one open string here, you have to somehow use either your left hand, like in this case I'm using my pinky, or you can use your right hand, and you got to stop the sound. Now I'm kind of cheating on this one. The way I'm doing it is, when I play the G7, I'm hitting it, then I'm just simply releasing the pressure off these three strings, and at the same time my thumb is looping over and touching that open string to mute it. Notice how the sound stops. And that's staccato. Now when I get to the C7, this one's a little harder to stop the sound because you got three open strings here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my left hand fingers and just simply play some right on the string like this. Same thing with the F and the G7. So you got notice how that staccato note really makes it sound more authentic. Now the last thing we want to do is, once you get these chords down, is jump the tempo up. Now that sounds really cool and really Hawaiian, to me at least. The other thing, once you get that down, is the variety of the different rhythms you could play. This is just a starting point of what you could do with it. You could add some different strum patterns and some different techniques. Whatever fits the song. We are live, so I'm going to do a real quick check here and see if we have any questions or comments, or anyone has just stopped and said hi. Just give me 1 second as it loads up here. And I appreciate you being here, and thank you for subscribing to the video and my channel and liking it and sharing it. It's all stuff that helps the process. And don't forget, if you're interested in more step-by-step lessons, I got courses, beginning courses, intermediate courses, blues courses. Check out ukulelethepros.com. Got a variety of stuff up there. You can even grab right now my strumming mastery course, a completely free course, just by signing up. And that's right on the homepage at Ukulele Pros. All right, so hey, I see Errol's checked in from Las Vegas, so viva Las Vegas. Okay, let's just play this one last time out, and then we'll see you next time.